Shaw. I'm the executive director of the Maryland Access to Justice Commission. And essentially, the space that we work in, we really focus on civil law issues, which we'll get into in a second. In the civil space, there is a reason that people do not get the legal help they need. A lot of times people have to hire a lawyer to solve their problems, and lawyers are unaffordable. And so that's one problem. A lot of times people also don't know that they're actually dealing with a legal problem. Now that sounds really odd, but say if you have someone come into your library and they're really worried about their child because their child has a lot of asthma. It seems like they moved into a new place and the asthma's gotten worse and they want to know more information about asthma. That presents itself very much like a health-related question, right? They have a health problem. They're trying to deal with that. In fact, that could have an underlying legal solution because maybe the apartment that they live in has mold and that's exacerbating the asthma, and that requires them to go to court to get a rent escrow. So there's a lot of problems that people deal with in everyday life, especially in the civil space, that don't present themselves as legal problems. And then people, if they figure out, yeah, I do have a legal problem, I want to know more, they don't know where to go a lot of times. So how do we connect up with the resources that are available? Our justice system is broken up into these things that I think most lay people don't know about. One is the criminal justice system, which I feel that probably just by watching any TV shows, crime dramas, people are generally quite familiar with, right? You have a right to remain silent. Anything you can and say will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney in a criminal, right, justice space. In the civil justice space, and generally I like to ask people, like, what kind of cases do you even think of as civil cases? Well, here we have them listed out for you, but it's things like housing, landlord-tenant, that's a civil. Foreclosure, immigration cases, all the immigration cases fall in civil, even though immigrants can be detained and their liberty can be taken away from them. Doesn't qualify for them to get an attorney, so they have to represent themselves if they can't afford one. Domestic violence, child custody, public benefits, wage theft, veterans issues, all of these fall within the civil space. And what that means is if you cannot afford an attorney, and we're not just talking about people who are poor in Maryland, that's about 10%, 9 to 10%. We're talking about 30 to 35% of Marylanders fall within this category. They will not be able to afford an attorney, and nothing will be provided for them. So a lot of people are dealing with very real issues in our communities, and the legal help would go a long way. Our whole, the commission exists to raise awareness about how important legal assistance is in these matters, right? So people are facing these issues, and if you don't have an attorney, say you're trying to get a protective order for domestic violence, for example, you are in fear of your life, you go into court without an attorney, you have a 32% chance of being successful. You go in with an attorney, you have an 83% chance. So your chances, it's the same case, okay? Same facts, same law, but your chances just overwhelming or just go up overwhelmingly because you have an attorney by your side. So it's really about power and sort of balancing and leveling the playing field. In an immigration case, it's 4 times as much, 44% with an attorney. So there's a shortage of attorneys who work in this public interest space, okay? There's about 1.49 lawyers, so 1.5 lawyers per 10,000 people who need them, who are in this 35% that can't afford an attorney, versus 40 lawyers per 10,000 people in the general population, okay? So there's just a shortage of attorneys. So how do we solve this problem? In Access to Justice, we look at it as we want to get people the level of help that they need when they need it. And sometimes the level of help that they need is legal information. So it starts at good quality, reliable legal information. Then maybe someone needs just brief advice. Maybe they just need to talk to a lawyer for a half an hour, explain their case, and get some advice on how to handle it. Or maybe they just need a lawyer to handle one part of the case, but they can handle everything else. Or maybe they just need a full-on legal, lawyer to represent their whole case. So this is the continuum of services, and the reason that we are providing these trainings and partnering with public libraries is because you all are on the front lines of access to information. This is your expertise, this is what you all do best, and for us, the legal information piece to get out to people in their communities is really important. So we appreciate this partnership, and that's the spectrum that we fall on. You all are a critical partner because you can raise awareness about the legal resources that are available in the state and provide quality information. So a lot of times people just opt for Google and try to go there, but there's a lot of things on the web that aren't quality, that are like people are trying to scam other people when they're most vulnerable, etc. So having trusted partners that can provide the quality information is really critical. And then obviously you are located in the communities, you are trusted partners. There's a lot of public libraries, over 200 in the state, and you have hours and you have locations, and so people can really access you and trust you for this. So this is why this is such a good partnership, and this is why we've sought it out. I will say, the purpose of the training from our perspective, we want public librarians to feel comfortable and confident and empowered to handle legal questions. We understand that can be kind of overwhelming, and maybe you're like, well, what can I do and what can't I do? And that's what Catherine's gonna go into. But from our perspective, if we can get more partners to handle that legal information piece, the better for the communities around us. So thank you.